Hello, thank you for tuning into my page where we do our best to simplify the practice of quantity surveying. You're welcome to another wonderful and interesting episode where we shall be analyzing the unit cost per square meter for a terrazzo floor finish. I will indulge us to watch to the end because this video is going to be a little bit longer than the usual because of the explanations I will need to give for clarity. As we all know, terrazzo flooring is a composite flooring that comprises a binder and multiple colors of granites, ranging from white, gray, black, depending on the varieties of stones you can find in the market. And the binder in this case could be cement of color. It could be gray, it could be red, it could be a resin, an adhesive resin. This component will be mixed together, then cast as usual. Then after some time, the surface will be washed off and the desired finish will appear. And the finishing ranges from what the client desires to see. So some persons might want more of white color in their finish. Some might want more of gray, some might want more of black. So it is the desire of the client that you can now combine this different shade of granite in the mix to now give you the desired finishing that the client is expected to see. Having said that, before we proceed proper into the analysis, let us go through the materials that are required or needed for the casting of this flooring. As you can see, I have some list on my screen, starting with different colors of stone, granite, ranging from white, gray, and blacks. And in the context of Nigeria, this granite are sold in bags, and the weight for each bag is around 32 kg per each weight of the granite in one bag. And their prices differ. The prices of the granite, the colors differs. As you can see, the white is 2,000 per bag in the market, while the gray is 1,100 per bag in the market, while the black is 2,005 per market in the market. Then we have the ebonite strip band. In some cases, the client will require that you partition the floor into square shapes using this ebonite strip that comes, the thickness ranges from 20 mm, 25 mm, and 12.5 mm. And the length per one is about 1.5. And it comes in a bundle of 50 in a bundle, and the cost is 5,500 per bundle. And like I said, this ebonite strips can be used to make a design on the floor. So like I said, it could be it could be in square shape, ranging from 1.2 by 1.2 both ways, or 60 by 60 both ways, depending on whatever pattern that the client has required of you. Then you have the wax polish. After you must have finished grinding to the taste you want, because then you have to now wax it. This wax polish comes in gallon of 4 liters, and the cost is 70,000. It ranges. There are different brands in the market. There are cheaper brands, there are expensive brands. But in this case, for the purpose of this illustration, we are using this one that is expensive, 70,000 per thing. Then you have the grinding stone, the stone that use basically known on site as washing stone. Use it to now, because the machine you are going to use is a machine that uses water to grind off the top of the floor to your desired finish. So the stone ranges, the grade of stone ranges from 00, 01, 02, 03, 04, 05, 06. And the 01 is the one that does the most difficult job, because it is the one that you use to grind off the top of the casted floor to bring it to finish, where you begin to see the shade, the chop off the stone for you to begin to see the shade of stone, how the floor is going to look. Then the 01, 02, 03, they are for polishing. So as you keep on applying the different grade of stone from 1 to 2, the smoother and the glossy your floor becomes. So some persons, if it is say you're using it for a class hall, some do only 00 and 01. But if you're using for a residential, say a common hall in a commercial building, because you want the appearance to look nice, you can go up to 02, 03, 04. Then if it is say a living room where you want to use it for your living room, you can go up to 06, where it will now become glassy and sparkling. So these stones will depend on what the client is required of the floor, because for a classroom, you shouldn't be expecting the classroom to be slippery, because you know how students can act and they can be unruly. So if you make it more glacier in the class, it could lead to somebody slipping off when there is a little water on it and the person will fall off. So you now have the washing machine. The cost per day is 10,000 with the fuel. The operator is 7,000. The mate for the operator that will be scooping up the slurry as you're washing the floor. You'll be gathering some pasty slurry, so he'll be scooping it and throwing it away, 4,000. Then the gang for casting the initial floor, 12,000, the labor and the masons, because the floor requires this time, require to give a level floor, cast a level floor, so that there shouldn't be undulation after casting. So you need time. It's not like the usual casting where you cast and expecting that there's going to be another finishing that is coming on top, because this is the final finish you are doing. So it needed your time. So the cost will be more compared to when you're casting a usual concrete for a slab. So having taken us through the whole material, another thing again I want us to realize again before we go down into the pricing proper. Like I said, in our market here in Nigeria, these marble stones, these stones are sold in bags. And like I also pointed out, that it comes in 30 per kg. And since I am building up my rates using tonnage, I will now need to convert my price and the total cost for, I needed to convert these materials to now get a total cost per ton. So what I did now is to now, because a ton is 1,000 kg and one bag is 30 kg. So if you divide 1,000 kg by 30 kg, you have 33.33 bag for a ton. So if you now multiply the 2,000 per bag by 33 bags, 33.33 bags, it gives you 66,000 for the white. Then for the gray, it gives you 36,000 per ton. While for the black, it gives you 83,333 per ton. So having understood this aspect, then let us now, and mind us, in this illustration we are undertaking, the ratio for mix, the design mix is a 1:6 grade of concrete. 1:6 grade of concrete. So for us to get the material for 1:6 grade of concrete, uh, uh, if you have watched my video for concrete analysis, you can quickly gloss over this. But if you're just watching for the first time, let me quickly give a brief illustration on this. We all know for you to get your materials for concrete for this grade of mix is to add the 1+6, which is the ratio 1:6. Then your total volume of material is 7. Then when concrete is in its wet state, 1 cubic meter of concrete in its wet state is 1 cubic. But if you want to get the dry volume, you want to get the dry volume of materials that you need to mix in 1 cubic meter, you have to consider the shrinkages, the waste, and all of that into it. And the shrinkage and the waste is a 54% for concrete. So 54% plus the wet plus the wet volume, it gives you 1.4. So this is the dry volume of materials that you need for a cubic meter of concrete. Then for you now to get the part of sand, the part of cement in the 1:6 is for you now to divide 1/6, which are 1/7, 1/7. Then you have this, and the density for cement is a 1,440 kg. So if you now multiply the dry density by the part of cement, you now have a 316.8 kg of cement that you need for this design mix. Then for granite, you have the dry density. Then you divide 6/7. It gives you the ratio of cement, sand, granite in this design mix. Then you now multiply the three. This is the density of granite, which is 1,500. You multiply these three figures, you have 1,980 kilogram of granite you need for a cubic meter of this design mix. Now, because the component in the mix is not just one shade of granite, like I did said, that the client's specification will determine how much of gray, how much of white, how much of black that you needed to put in 1 cubic meter of concrete. So in this case, since we are all working on assumption here, I now did some assumption. I said for the white granite, he need a 60% of a 1,980 kg. Then for a gray, you need a 30% of the 1,980 kg. Then for the black, he needs a 10% of the 1,980 kg. If you sum the 3 shades of granite in this mix, you are going to have the same 1.9 ton. Then the cement, we have a 316.8 kg, which is reflecting here. And the cost per kg is 1,890 naira per kg. Why these figures? We all knew where it came from. These are all the figures we got from converting this to tonnage. So this is the cost per ton for the white, the cost per ton for the gray and the black. So this is the cost per cubic meter of the materials that we needed. Then the labor, like I said, there's a 12,000 here for the casting per cubic meter. So, and the cost for material and labor is a 198,555 naira 60 kobo per cubic meter of this grade of concrete. Then for us now to convert this this cubic meter to the square meter, we have to determine how many area, what is the area the volume of 1 cubic meter is going to cover for a 30 millimeter thick floor finish and a 40 millimeter thick floor finish. So what I now did is to now divide a square meter, a cubic meter by 0.03. Then I divide this one, I divide the second as well by 0.04. So it gives me, for a cubic meter will cover a 33 square meter. Why for a 40 mm thick, it will cover a 25 square meter. So if you now divide your cost per cubic meter by 33 square meter and 25 square meter, you have your unit cost per square meter as 5,956.67 per square meter. While for the 40 mm, you have 7,942.22 per square meter. Then for the ebonite strip, I had to capture this ebonite strip because you might find it in some cases and in some area where you don't, it is not expected of you to use it, then you expunge what the cost is. But should in case you are expected to put up these designs on the floor before you cast. So what I did is I took a typical sample of, say a hall. I said a hall of 10 meter long and a breadth of 5 meter long. So you have total square area also of 50 square meter. Then I now assume that I am expected to put this ebonite at 1.2 centers. So I now divided 10 by 1.2. 10 by 1.2, then I divided 5 by 1.2. Then I have these numbers. And I have this number. As the numbers of grids I need to put using the ebonite strip. Then I now multiply the 5 by 8 to give me the total meters that I need, the total running meters that I need the ebonite. Total running meter of the ebonite that will be required to use for this hall. So I now did the same thing by cross multiplying the 10 by 4. It gives me, so I summed it up. I now have 83.33 running meter. Then I now divided it by the 50 square meter. I now divided it by this 50 square meter. I divided it by the 50 square meter. I now have 1.6 per square meter. So I have 1.6 per square meter. So for a hall of 10 meter long by 5 meter width, I am going to have a 1.67 per square meter from this 83 running length of ebonite strip that I need. So the percentage that will go for a square meter is 1.67. So that is what I brought here. And like I said, the cost per bundle is a 5,500. If you divide it 5,500, you have a 120 for one piece. And if you divide 120 by 1.5, which is the length of one, you have 80 naira per meter. So you multiply it by the 1.7, which is the length for 1 square meter, you will now have a 136 naira 27 kobo. Then of course, this aspect is also the most difficult aspect because you need to put it along a very straight line, and it is during that same process that you needed to take your gauge. So it is now serving as your top level. So you needed to make sure that the level is correct and the straightness is okay. So you have a 264 naira per linear meter. So if you sum the two, labor and material, you have 427 naira per meter. Then the next aspect of work, which is the washing, you needed the 00, which is the first stone that you're going to use to chop up the top and bring it to level before you start polishing. A set of that stone can wash up to 40 square meter. Between 40 to 45 square meter is what you use one set to wash. And the cost for one set is 8,000. So if you say 8,000 divided by 40 square meter, it gives you 200 per square. That is 200 per square meter. So then the same thing for the machine is a 10,000. It's a 10,000, and in a day, the operator can wash up to 45 square meter as well. So if you divide the 10,000 for the cost of machine and the fueling, it will give you 250. So if you multiply 250 by the 40, you have this amount. If you add them together, you have 18,116 naira 0 kobo. Then the cost for operator per day and the cost for his mate per day is 7,000 and 4,000. By the time you sum the three figures, you now have a 29,160 naira 00 kobo for the cost for washing of 40 square meter. So now if you divide the 29,000 by the coverage, which is a 40 square meter, you have 729 naira 0 kobo per square meter. Then for the second phase, somebody will be thinking, why didn't I just take the washing in one soup by either adding the 00, 01, 02, depending on what finish that I am trying to attain. Why I didn't do that is because for a 01, the coverage differs, is a 80 square meter, because the 00 have done the dirty job, so now you are beginning to polish. So the coverage, the stones can grind up to 80 square meters against the 40 that the 00 will do. So that is why I'm not taking the two the same time. So, and this is the cost per, you divide the 8,000 per 80 and the machine as well. You divide the 10,000 by 80, you have the cost per square meter. You arrive at the same as 18,600 and 18,600 and 18,160. 160, then you have the cost for the labor and the mate. By the time you divide the cost for the 29,160 160 kobo by 80, which is the coverage, you're having 364 naira 50 kobo. The last item after washing the floor to your desired taste, like I did said, you can as well do for 02, 03, 04, depending on the finish that you wanted. But in this case, I'm stopping at 01, then I'm now waxing, which is the final polishing. The polish is 70,000 per thing, and the coverage is 100 square meter. And if you multiply it by the 700 per square meter multiplied by 100 gives you 71,000 plus waste, it gives you 71,400. The cost for the applicator that is going to wax it is 7,000. You add that to the material, you have 78,400 00 kobo. Then if you divide it by 100 square meter, if you divide it by 100 square meter, you divide it by 100 square meter, you have a 784 naira 00 kobo. Then now for the price for a 30 mm and the price for a 40 mm. The price for a 40 mm is 30 mm is now, you sum up the price for the concrete, the price for the ebonite, the price for the first washing, the second washing, and the waxing. The only thing that differs in all of this, for the polishing, the washing, it's the same. Ebonite is the same. The only thing that differs now is on the cost, initial costing, because concrete, because the thickness differs. So you have the 5,956.67 kobo, while the 40 is 7,942.22 kobo. So you sum them together, you have 8,234.44 kobo. While for the 40 mm, you have a 10,220.00 kobo per square meter. So this is the procedure I believe you needed to undertake to arrive at the cost per square meter for terrazzo finish, because you needed to take each of the tags one after the other for you now to get what the aggregated amount for whatever thickness. So now, even if you want to say you want to get the cost for, say, a 50 mm thick, so what you needed to do now is just you divide this by 0.05. Sorry. So for a 50 mm is 9,925.27.78 kobo. So even if you want to go for a 70 mm, so the same thing you do, the volume, this is in cubic meter, then you know what is the coverage of 1 cubic meter for a thickness of 70. You now multiply it by you divide it by the rate, it gives you what the cost will be. So what I needed now to add to make up my my 50 mm now is just 50 is now, I'll just go back. I take this, I take this, I take this, I take this, I take this. So you can see I have quickly derived the cost per square meter for a 50 mm thick. So also, if you want to get for a 70 mm, this other aspect remains the same because you are polishing the top. The only thing you needed to work on is just this area. You either create a cell here, get your thickness, what is the coverage for a cubic meter, it tells you, then you sum it together and you have your price. So if I've been able to throw light to your understanding on how to build up rate for a terrazzo flooring, please comment on my page. Above all, please do subscribe, share, and for any clarification, you can just leave a message on my timeline and I will respond to you. See you next, and bye.